The number of migrants processed by U.S. immigration authorities at the southern border has decreased for the second month in a row. According to federal data, Border Patrol agents recorded over 181,000 arrests of migrants who entered the country illegally last month. That's down almost 6% from June, and nearly a 19% drop from an all-time monthly high back in May. CBS News immigration reporter Camilo Montoya-Galvez is actually here with me in the studio to discuss. So, Camilo, why are we seeing this drop in arrests?
That's a critical question, Lana. As you mentioned, border arrivals peaked in May. They reached an all-time monthly high in May, but they have been decreasing ever since. In July, U.S. border officials processed migrants just under 200,000 times. That is a 14% drop from May and a slight decrease from June. The Biden administration says this drop can be attributed to its efforts to curtail human smuggling operations and to discourage migrants from coming to the U.S.-Mexico border through public messaging campaigns. But it's also very important to note, Lana, that border arrivals have historically decreased in the summer because of the hot temperatures along the U.S.-Mexico border. So we'll see how long this trend lasts. And while migration levels have decreased recently, it's also important to note, Lana, that the tally of border arrivals for July was the second highest tally of arrivals for that month in U.S. history.
So an important point that you make about recognizing the seasonality of it and comparing it month by month. And as you say, border arrivals remain very high. Do you think that the arrest levels will continue to go down and that the number of migrants being processed officially at the border will continue to be high?
Yeah, well,
Is that the trend that we're seeing?
Yeah, the levels of illegal immigration that we have recorded over the past year really are unprecedented, Lana. In fiscal year 2022, Customs and Border Protection has recorded nearly 2 million migrant encounters, and there are still 2 months left in the fiscal year. And that is a number that has already surpassed the record set last year in fiscal year 2021. So these numbers are unprecedented and historic. But I would be remiss if I did not underscore that migrant encounters do not equal the number of individual migrants taken into custody or the number of migrants and asylum seekers allowed to stay in the country. In July, for example, 40% of the migrants taken into Border Patrol custody were quickly expelled to Mexico or to their home countries without an opportunity to seek asylum under the Title 42 pandemic-era policy. Additionally, about 22% of the migrant arrests recorded in July involved migrants who had been previously arrested trying to enter the U.S. illegally. So many of these arrests actually represent multiple instances of border crossings by the same individuals.
Oh, that's an interesting point. So there's a humanitarian crisis. There's also a political bit of theater that's going on. And I want to ask you specifically about some of that because the Republican governors in Texas and Arizona have been sending some of these migrants here to New York City, also to Washington, D.C. What's the latest on this effort, and how is that being received politically? What is the message that people are internalizing?
Sure. These Republican-led states are using state resources to transport migrants by bus from the U.S.-Mexico border to here, New York City, but also to Washington, D.C. Several thousand migrants and asylum seekers have already arrived at Union Station in D.C. and at the bus terminal here in New York City. And these governors argue that this is a way for these cities, which are obviously controlled by Democrats, to share the burden of accommodating these migrants, which they say has mostly fallen on border communities in their states. The Biden administration, of course, believes that this is just a political stunt. But what is very noteworthy is that officials in both D.C. and New York have expressed concern about their ability to process and receive these migrants. The mayor in D.C. even asked the National Guard for assistance in sheltering and transporting these migrants. Her initial request was rejected by the Department of Defense, but she has recently submitted a new one. So we'll see if this new request is approved, Lana, amid this intense political battle between Republican-led states and the Biden administration over the future of U.S. immigration policy.
All right. Thanks for keeping us apprised, Camilo.
Thanks,
Good to
Lana.
see you.